studio. Randy McKay with us today, Scott Rabelais with us today, Wes Reynolds with us today. The golfers are in Canada. And, of course, we'll be doing a lot of, baseball stuff as we're just a couple of days away from the Super Regionals. Jimmy, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good. Spent yesterday afternoon after, everything that had happened over the Super Regional weekend, looking back on what had happened and kind of ahead to LSU in West Virginia. First game on Saturday at 1:00, and a couple of things I wanted to talk about in the open. One of them being third pitchers, and another one of them an offensive thing that Jay Johnson's kind of wrestling with right now. So I listened to Hunt's show yesterday, and he had Glenn West on, and he asked a question that I had to think about a little bit. And he said, what would happen if on Saturday LSU gets to the eighth inning and Cade Anderson is done. He's thrown 115 pitches or whatever, and LSU's holding a 1 or 2-1 lead. Why? What would you do at that point if you're Jay Johnson? So they went through the options, and there's a number of them. The one that interested me the most was Kason Evans. Kason Evans is coming off of the most dominant, postseason debut that you could possibly have with 9 straight strikeouts. So he would be the first name you would think of. On the other hand, he threw 109 pitches, which is a career high.
What day we're talking
on
about
Monday.
Here again?
This is Saturday,
Okay.
So this would be 4 full days of rest. That's one reason I wouldn't go to Evans on Saturday. The second reason is that you can go Cade Anderson on the first day on full rest, and you can go Anthony Ianson on the second day on pretty close to full rest. So you count the 20 pitches on Monday as kind of a bullpen, pretty close to full rest. Kason Evans has never thrown this many pitches and has to come back on short rest. So I would be a little bit nervous about that. The second thing is talking to Doug Thompson on the podcast yesterday, which you can get on YouTube. It's up there right now on Handycast. He said he thought that Zach Cowan showed a little rust, particularly with the changeup, which is his best pitch. And the more that he pitches, the better off. He may think of it like second race back, if you will, because, Cowan had gone 2 weeks without pitching, as had Evans. Evans was a sharper of the two. But the other reason is West Virginia is in a little bit of a precarious position where their third starter. This is a good time to remind everybody that the number of years that LSU's gone through with the same third starter the whole way through is pretty rare. And for a lot of teams, the third starter is a moving piece. It has been for West Virginia. Gavin Van Kempen, who has been a starter for them most of the season, last pitched on May the 16th. He came out of that game after just one batter with an injury. He did not pitch in the conference tournament. He did not pitch in the regional. And whether he comes back or not, it's going to be a precarious situation for West Virginia should this get to a game 3. I expect them to hold Griffin Kern, their ace, for the second game because he pitched on Friday, 7 1/3 innings, and he pitched again on Sunday, another inning. So I would think that they would hold him for game 2 to give him the extra day and start Jack Carstonas, who is their second starter in game 1 of this thing. Again, the order doesn't really matter in the Super Regionals for 1 and 2. That means that if you get to a game 3, West Virginia would have to do one of two things. They would have to go back to Van Kempen, assuming he's healthy, and I have no idea if he is, pitching for the first time in 24 days, or you do what they did in the third game of the regional, which is to chop it up. They chopped it up, and they won the game, gave up 11 runs doing it. If I can hold Kason Evans for that game 3, and I'm going to get that matchup against either a guy off of a long layup or a bullpen day for West Virginia, I'm going to have a big, big edge in game 3. I understand if you get to Sunday, you've got a chance to lock this thing down, and he needs 4 to 6 outs. I would be really tempted to go to Kason Evans, but not on Saturday, and probably not on Sunday because I got the edge. And if West Virginia comes in here and beats Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson on the first 2 days of the regional, then God bless, okay? Nobody's done that in Ally Brock Stadium all year. They've only lost those 2 games at Auburn consecutively.
And that's fine, but, that could be your one game that is in the balance. You could have West Virginia dominated a game and LSU dominated a game, and here you said LSU in the late innings, a one-run lead. This might be that time. Now, is an Evans on short rest going to be as good? Is going to be a bounce? Everything from horse racing to golfing. I mean, guy shoots a 60. Well, he's not going to duplicate it. That horse runs that crazy buyer figure. Well, it's a bounce factor. There's even a term about it. Does he bounce here? Or, man, there's no comparison who was more effective on Monday night. But, the Cowan comes in more lightly raced as well. So if that could be the game where that could be where the super regional is decided, Charlie. So that you have to play out that scenario as well. And ideally, yes, you'd like to hold him, to game 3 if necessary.
And there is a feel factor to this. I wouldn't run him on Saturday. I would run Cowan out there even with a 1 or 2 run lead. If he gave up a base runner, you might go to Shores. You can go to Newt. You can go to Cooper Williams. That's all about feel. I'm saying that if I got a chance to hold Evans to Monday, it's going to give LSU a big advantage as long as you don't lose the first 2. And if you lose the first 2, well, God bless. So the Van Kempen injury has compromised West Virginia a little bit as far as their third starter. A lot of teams have that problem, including LSU. The second thing is I've been asked this, and I've heard a lot about this about Michael Braswell at third base, and should they take a look at Tanner Reeves, because he is, and I hear this all the time, Reeves is the better bat. Well, the numbers don't bear that out, at least not recently. And I think that Jay Johnson is searching for some offense from over on the hot corner. Braswell's slumping. He's 1 for his last 23. There ain't no way to sugarcoat that. What's particularly bothering about the 1 for 23 is there's no walks in there. I would have liked to have seen, a handful of walks in there. If you're scuffling at the plate, at least try and draw some walks. He's been on base 1 time in his last 24 plate appearances. He got hit by a pitch and 1 hit. There's only 3 strikeouts to his credit in there, but there's no walks. He's not getting on base. Thing is, Reeves isn't either. He's 1 for his last 21. Now, he's got 4 walks in that span, but he's got 8 strikeouts. That goes back all the way to April 1st. Their SEC numbers, almost identical. Braswell's hitting 236. Reeves is hitting 238. Braswell's got him about 3-1 on plate appearances in SEC play. My point is, neither one of these guys are scorching the ball right now. Reeves did hit 2 balls hard that were tracked down in center field by Willie Mays over there. Looked like was playing for Little Rock. God bless him. He could play center field. But I think 2 things. Number 1, Jay Johnson will go with the better glove, which is Braswell to start, and he will give Reeves some opportunities. Next guy to gets a hit, gets to stay in the lineup, because right now they've gotten to this point with very little offensive production out of that spot all year, really. So you got to this point. Hey, I was hoping that Braswell would get hot. If Reeves gets hot, that's all the same. So the perception is that put Reeves in. He's a better bat. You're looking at all of the numbers. A lot of those numbers came from the pre-conference. Those numbers are pretty much dead to me now. Reeves has got 5 hits in SEC play. Braswell's not hitting either. I get it, but there's not a lot of difference. It's not like you got this scorching bat on the bench that's willing to come in. So, like I said,
right,
he's going to give him some shots.
That's the numbers. We know that. What you talk about your eyeballs, who's grinding now? Who's giving you more of a quality at bat?
Neither one of them.
Okay,
honestly,
so
neither one. There's not a lot of walks in here. There's a couple more.
One kid at least walked 4 times
in 2 months.
I mean, well, compared to 1 or 0?
0. Yeah. Okay. It's a couple more.
It's not 4 more.
It's not enough.
Zero's bad.
Zero's bad.
Zero's bad. You got to grind, man. You got to know when you're not. Look, man. Not every perimeter shooter shows up at the gym hot.
Right.
Okay. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Get your shots up.
We're going to try and get to the line, get to the goal.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie. I'm going to try and get on base.
Right. He's also got twice as many strikeouts, and the glove to me balances out. Look, they're both going to get a chance. I would be shocked. Johnson's been trying it the last 2 games of the regional. He played both of these kids. It's like, get a hit. You get a hit, you get to stay in. You make a shot, you get the ball again. So
yeah.
I just wanted to point out that there's not this glaring gulf between the 2 guys. There really isn't. So next one you get a hit, you get to play, as far as I would think.
Mhm.
So those two things. The third starter, West Virginia's, in a little bit of a compromised situation, and the third base offense.
So you say West Virginia had an easier path. They played one less game. They
Yeah.
took care of business and did lose. They won all 3 games in their last at bat. All 3
Yeah,
games.
that's right.
And so the first game they did a walk off. The second game against Clemson, they were tied going in. They were the visiting team going to the top of the ninth. They scored 4. Clemson won in the bottom, so that was their last at bat. And then bottom of the 8th, they down 5 runs. They scored 6, and that was their last at bat. They held them scoreless in the top of the ninth, so they walked. That was their last at bat as well. So it was, but they did win a regional last year in Arizona, Tucson, for their first super regional appearance. So they do have a chunk of that roster back this year that went on the road and won at Clemson. And we didn't pull a trigger on that one, but we certainly discussed it. How Clemson was not. They're not.
You know why?
One, they're not a really impressive roster, and they weren't playing great.
No, they weren't. There were a lot of people that didn't think Clemson was getting out of that regional. I'll tell you why I didn't pick the regional. I couldn't make up my mind between West Virginia and Kentucky because I thought they were pretty equal, and they played 2 one-run games. So
Yeah.
I just couldn't figure out which of the other ones to pick. So that was why I kind of laid off of it. But I thought Clemson was vulnerable for sure.
And I thought Kentucky's biggest concern going in would be their lineup, and their lineup produced.
Yeah, they did.
Mean, it was their pitching that got to them.
They did. So, a few thoughts.
Can we get a warning? Can we pass the hat? I mean, we've got the Cajun Cafe out there. Can they get a warning track in Clemson?
Great point. There was a play at the wall where it absolutely could have had an
it
impact.
happens every year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only. Tell me another field that doesn't have a warning track. I'm talking from, down the street.
You and I both call games in the 90s in the SWAC where the budgets were, shall we say, compromised, and they had warning tracks.
Everybody has a warning track. Every high school.
I would almost think that would come up at the league meetings, and the rest of the coaches would get together and say, "This is a safety issue. You gotta put a warning track in."
That's what they call it, huh?
Yeah, you guys got enough money to put a warning track in.
That the campus is too nice.
Yeah.
For them, just like the warning track. I mean, come on.
I mean, they paint a Clemson little paw, a logo
They have
on
a lot
the
of
wall.
paws on campus, Max.
They
yes.
paint them near the wall. Why is there not a warning track there? It's puzzling to me. Same question.
There's a lot more budget in these baseball programs than there was 30 years ago.
Enron, then Minute Maid, the new park at the Astros. Okay, I forget.
Dakin.
It's Dakin now?
Dakin Park.
Okay,
yes.
so air conditions. There you go. Total maintenance. All right, so they wanted a unique dimension to their field, right?
Right.
Remember?
The hill
with the flagpole in play.
which I thought was ridiculous.
And they got rid of it.
They did.
Okay.
It should have never been put out there.
This is not like
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. No. You
can't
have
your
a
center
flag.
fielder goes out there and turns a knee.
It was
I
like
mean,
440 out there.
It was
way out there.
dumb. It was, but there was a center fielder who went out there. It's just not in play. I mean, like fairway bunkers. You a big fan? I'm going to hit the ball in the middle of the fairway, and I'm going to be in a bunker.
I don't mind a center line
Yeah,
bunker.
okay,
No.
okay,
I'm quirky.
okay.
I like golf. I like something that's different. So
well,
that's cool.
fairway bunkers are different.
Pat
but,
McAfee's different,
Who hit the
Say I
longest?
like
no, y'all love him.
Maybe he'll come to town this week.
Who
West
hit the
Virginia's
longest
here.
ball
He's
to
not
straightaway
going
center
anywhere.
field at the old Enron Minute Maid? My friends in Houston swear that this is the longest ball that was hit since they opened the stadium. Went right through. There were multiple flagpoles. There was one in play, and there were 2 out behind.
I'm not concerned about what's not in play. The
Okay.
flagpole in play is my concern.
this guy
Yes.
this guy split the 2 flagpoles to straightaway center field about 460 feet.
He was on the Astros.
He was not.
Now would be like a judge, but he wasn't around then.
No, Vlad Guerrero. They said Vlad Guerrero hit one about 450, 460 feet to straightaway center field.
I've got some Vlad Guerrero senior. I got some in Wrigley. Him long tossing from the warning track out in front of the Wrigley Field.
To the parking lot?
No, to the dugout.
Yeah.
Long tossing, just kind of And then he hit a triple in Wrigley. That was just, it was beautiful to watch. Before he just became a slugger, whatever. My man could roll.
Yes.
And I mean, he was, but I did see, and this was kind of the steroid era, was at BP, so this when you BP, you just kind of lean on the fence, you get your recorder and you go get a manager or a player or a media member and just get some sound, before. And we're just watching guys. Glenn Allen Hills with the Cubs, and let's just say he was bulked up and had more acne than maybe a 16-year-old. I mean, it was just not a good look.
A 16-year-old with a box of chocolate.
Yeah. He hit one over the center field wall, and then he just kind of a roid rage. It was like, okay, this is the poster child for the steroids. I mean, it was in that era the whole bit. So yeah.
We're here at Modesto.
Hey, well, Modesto has been a hot spot all season long for the baseball games. And, the great thing about Modesto and their game day specials, it's available. Super Regional is, we got it over here, $3 fireball shots, it's $3 tequila drop shots, $3 domestic bottles, $4 import bottles, $4 hard seltzers, 32-ounce margaritas are $21, frozen tiger 75s or $15. And then we've got some appetizers for game day specials as well. The birria fries, the brisket fries that are $11. Game day nachos are $11. And Mexican popcorn is $5. So our game day specials over here this weekend for the Super Regional. So a hop, skip, and a jump on your way to the box.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Text Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padial at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road since 1988. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games in a casual atmosphere with the friendliest service. Right now, we're boiling crawfish 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. First batch comes out at 5 p.m., weekends at noon. Sammy serves a wide mix of authentic Louisiana food prepared to order with the best ingredients available. Fresh Louisiana seafood, Cajun favorites, burgers, and po' boys, all built from scratch. Our kids' menu and popular appetizers are sure to please the pickiest of eaters. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road near Starring since 1988.
Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net. 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
And we return here at Modesto. Today's show is also brought to you by Total Maintenance AC and Heating Generators, Electricity, Plumbing, oldest and largest AC and heating company in South Louisiana, one of them since 1980. Service today, every day, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Full service staff in both New Orleans and Baton Rouge. Carrier, American Standard, Daykin, and Ream AC units, Generac and Cummings generators for all your electrical and plumbing needs as well in Baton Rouge, 480-1000 in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance. Jimmy, we had this conversation on Monday about the number of pitchers that came back from short rest to go on Monday. And in some cases, they came back on Sunday. Some of these teams that are going to have to deal with this include West Virginia and their starter, Griffin Kern, who threw 7 1/3. We don't, for some reason, the box scores didn't include pitch counts, but he threw 7 1/3 innings on Friday night. And of course, they won that game. He was the 8th of 8 pitchers on Sunday. And like you pointed out during the break, they had a game to play with. I don't know how much pitching they had left. They threw 8 guys. Nobody threw more than 2 2/3 innings. Most of the guys threw an inning, and Kern threw the last one. So he faced 4 batters. So let's say 12 to 15 pitches.
So 2 of their 3 wins, he got a win and a save.
Yeah. And we're talking about some big names here. Liam Doyle came back on short rest. Anthony Ianson came back on
Murray
short
State.
rest. Kid from Murray State came back on short rest. Some ones that came back to
Tennessee, Wake Forest lost, but
they brought their one guy.
I
back.
don't think Oregon State did on Monday.
No, they won 9-0. They shouldn't have had to. Somewhere Keith Law's head's exploding, I'm sure.
Well, it's BP for him.
I
mean, come on, man. I mean, this is when you do this type of stuff, this is what they're talking about.
Yep.
And I mean, that's minor league baseball. They're not doing that. Period.
No, they're not. They're not.
So, where the college game has made so many, so much progress and so much, whether look, we can complain about or to debate it, whatever, but so much more respect out of the major league teams. They are recruiting college players more. There's more money in the college game. They feel it's better. The coaching has improved.
Yeah.
But this is something that's still hanging around.
Major league teams will do the same thing if their playoffs are on the line. They'll bring a starter back on short rest. The difference is those are more mature arms. Those are kids. Those are men in their 20s and 30s, and these are in most cases 18 to 20-year-old developing arms. That's the case against. But and you're right. Nobody in the minor leagues hardly ever does this. But in the major leagues, you see the starters go down to the bullpen. It's kind of exciting, actually. You see Randy Johnson going down in the World Series to the bullpen to
That's
try to close it
the
out.
last game of
The
the
last
season.
game of the season. They'll do it if their playoffs are on the line. They'll do it in the playoffs too.
You saw Charlie Morton close out the game, I think, in Game 7 for the Astros against the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was a starter,
right?
And he came in relief. We've seen it. We've seen. I think it was Scherzer that maybe finished out the Nationals.
The Nationals
win over the Astros.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but that's the last game. I mean, we saw Bumgarner do it against Detroit.
You've seen it in the playoffs too, though. The divisional rounds. If your season is on the line,
rarely.
Not often. Not often.
It's the last game.
If your season is on the line, in that game, you'll see it, but not other than that.
I've just named you the World Series last games. Name me an earlier round.
I'd have to go back and look. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I've seen that before where they brought starters in.
It's not. It's
not common.
It's not like
you
had half the pitchers doing it that were playing on Monday, and that's what we have confirmed.
And
three of the games, all 6 participating teams brought back a guy that threw over 100 pitches in a start earlier in the regional.
Yeah, they did.
Kern for West Virginia pitched 118 in the opener against Kentucky on Friday. He pitched 16 in the closing game on Sunday.
131 pitches over 3 days.
134.
What'd you say?
118 and 16.
134. I'm sorry,
48 hours.
134. Yeah,
48 hours. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And Doyle threw 100. I think it was 135 over his 2 starts, over his 2 appearances for Tennessee. These guys bounce back. Ianson threw 118. He threw 98 and 20. Pretty sure I got my numbers right there. Now that was going from Friday to Monday. That was 2 days and not 1 day, but it's still short rest. It is a bullpen day. There's a difference between bullpen pitches and game pitches.
And he was warming up in the bullpen for a while. Couple innings.
And those guys are going to throw in between starts.
Sure.
I mean, but there's a difference in intensity between game pitches and bullpen pitches. I don't think there's any question about that. So that's why I expect Kern will not throw game 1 for West Virginia.
I didn't either.
An extra day.
And your boy from Tennessee. I mean, there's no reason that you only get 1 start.
Right.
Okay. And so, I mean, it doesn't matter if he starts game 1 or game 2.
That's
I mean, they're getting their start, and that's it. It's not nearly the strategy of rotation that you have in the regional realm.
No, it's 3 games max, but it does mean that you're probably going to see, instead of Zach Root against Liam Doyle in game 1 in Arkansas, Tennessee, you're going to see Marcus Phillips against Zach Root in game 1.
Hunter Elliott pitched Monday night.
Hunter Elliott was
had
they won, they would have almost certainly held him for game 2 of their super regional. They came up a little bit short. Yeah, it's an adjustment that you have to make at this point in the season, and more than one coach has got to do it.
You fine with it? I mean, we hate when Keith Law starts his stuff, huh? But man, how do you argue with him?
I think
with this type of stuff.
I think coming back on 1 day, if the season's not at the very end, is tough. To come on Friday to Sunday, they used to do this all the time. This was a staple of LSU baseball in the 80s and the 90s. You pitched on Friday and Sunday. They don't do that anymore. I would be pretty hesitant to bring
pitch
him
on
back.
Friday and Sunday.
Oh yeah.
No, Friday and Monday.
No, Friday and Sunday.
In the 6 game
in regular season games happened all the time.
The regular season?
Yes, sir.
The conference series.
Yes.
You would have the same starter on Friday and Sunday.
Not starter. He'd come in relief on Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, it happened a lot. They don't do that anymore.
I mean, the biggest is McDonald in College Station. He got the win in game 1. It was the same day that he got the save.
Yeah, no, it happened a lot in the 90s. It doesn't happen anymore. 1 day and 2 days is different. Okay, 1 day, man, it makes a difference. It's a tough call.
You thought Ianson was this sharp?
I did.
You did?
I did. Yeah. He gave up the roller. They got the run home, but no, I thought he was sharp. I worry more about the second time back.
He got the call. He got the call, the 3-2 pitch.
Yes, he did.
If he doesn't get the call, how you feel?
Well, it's going to be a tight spot. I don't know what the next batter would have done.
Things may change, but the next guy hit the high chopper. Everybody's advancing on that.
Yes,
that's a 5-3 put out, and everybody advances. Tie game in the go ahead runs during second and
I
third.
thought he was throwing strikes, and I didn't think they hit the ball hard against him. Overly hard. I didn't see.
Did he inherit the runners?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't
So
think
that's
he.
he was not getting. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't think he got hit hard. It's the time after that. You can run on adrenaline for 20 to 30 pitches. It's the time after that. How does the arm feel? That'll be something that all of these teams that brought a guy back have to deal with. So we'll see.
It will be interesting, no doubt about it. Don't forget our friends over at United Community Bank, the local way to bank big, with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow, including their newest branch down the street at Burbank and Blue Mountain. We're here at Modesto on Burbank. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years. Our great team of bankers, Heath Muir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, Prentice Wilkes at United Community Bank. Again, your business is our business. We support the hardworking folks behind local business. Contact us today. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance, in-game video, and data analysis to improve pitching, throwing velocity, bat speed, and fielding. Total Diamond Performance is tailored around the individual player to build strength and athleticism while also cleaning up mechanical deficiencies. Matt Mastretta applies what he's learned working in player development with college and MLB teams. Total Diamond Performance, 931-3730. That's 931-3730.
Do you know what you would do if you were in a car wreck? It's easy to panic when you or someone you care about is hurt in an accident. Who will pay the medical bills? Who will pay the car repair? Who will deal with the insurance companies for you? Protect your rights. You need someone you can trust. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 343-1111. The law offices of O.C. Brown will handle everything for you. 343-1111 or online at ocbrown.com. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Attention, vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Segan near Perkins.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
The Grand Bayou Casino, conveniently located off I-10 at exit 139 in Gross-Ted, offers the latest video poker machines 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Got a great staff at the Grand Bayou Casino. Our inviting staff will greet you with complimentary coffee and sodas as you enjoy listening to the curated tunes in our comfortable seating. Make the trip to the Grand Bayou Casino, where players are welcome. The Grand Bayou Casino, I-10 at the Gross-Ted exit. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-877-770-STOP. The Grand Bayou Casino. With all of the financial headlines, are you worried if your retirement savings will last? The market's ups and downs can keep you guessing, especially if you're approaching retirement or considering it. If you have more questions and answers about what's next, let's work together to help ensure you're prepared for your journey. After all, retirement isn't the end of the trek, it's a new beginning. Stop by your local Edward Jones advisor. Tex Morris on Jefferson. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Uh-oh, they let the big dog out.
Boom! Out of nowhere.
It's time for the big dog, Randy McKay, with his best picks.
Out of nowhere. Where is my man? I know he's traveling today. Big dog, what parts are you at right now, my man?
You guys are going to like this. I'm at a Walmart parking lot in Devil's Lake, North Dakota. And what's significant about Devil's Lake, North Dakota? Future NBA. Well,
The New Jersey Devils owner is from that area, huh? No?
no, future NBA star, maybe. Grant Nelson from Alabama, or before that NDSU. This is his hometown. So I'm here on a little trip. Going to go up north, check out a couple casinos, and check out the casino here as well.
Nate Oates, Charlie, this was part of the schedule. Like, why are they playing in North Dakota State? Well, you promised him.
Yeah, he
He's
promised to
gonna go,
recruit.
you
You're
know,
going to go play in his hometown. That happens
the,
a lot.
The
actually.
kid that was the top 5 pick. Is it
Stromal Swift? Here?
No, from Alabama. Was it Marshall? What was his name? A couple. You got the
Brandon Miller.
Miller.
Yeah.
Miller was from in Macon. From
Okay.
Macon, they went and played at Macon, Georgia. You know, not as far of
Right.
but I mean, that's do what it takes. It's one game. Yeah, if that's going to be the the
When
knockout
Stromal
blow.
came here, I remember
They went and played in
they played a
Shreveport.
game at the in Shreveport.
Stro was at their reunion. There was
Roy Williams did that as well. With there was a North Dakota player that Kansas had Boshi, and he made sure that they played UND one year as well.
Did Dale play a game at in Gulfport or Biloxi with her CJ?
No. Of course, and they play conference games out there. He didn't play a game
Conference games.
in Ole Miss, Mississippi State, in the state of Mississippi.
Right.
No, he never played
But
one.
I'm talking about golf.
No,
Okay.
not that I remember. And I don't think he played one. I was trying to think about John Williams, but
In LA now.
yeah, again, no. When they played UCLA
In the dome.
yeah, and he didn't play one for John Williams.
Yeah. But Ice Reynolds, they played in New Jersey.
In the that was against North Carolina. Yeah.
In the Meadowlands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that game.
Yeah, so Big Dog, you were watching the LSU Arkansas Little Rock. They're Little Rock now. So, but anyway, you talk about David and Goliath, man. It was Maryland Eastern Shore, Maryland Baltimore County. Let me get that straight. Who beat Virginia to 116? I mean, it was David and Goliath, no doubt. And Little Rock came to play. You were checking it out on the tube.
Yeah, so I got in on the game. I heard about it. It was like 5.5. I took a little bet on Little Rock getting the 5.5 runs. I figured there might be some nervy times there. And of course, I tuned in when it was 5-1, and you could just feel the pressure of the crowd there every time they got the bases loaded. It failed. And the announcer, your guys' announcers, I think, was doing the ESPN games, and they were like, "Yeah, we can't score when we get the bases loaded for some reason in this thing." I guess that's a variance of college baseball, but you could just see the dam was going to break eventually, and they were going to break through. But I've watched games before at LSU. You guys got quite an atmosphere there for baseball, and yeah, it was a real entertaining night, and when not much was going on for sure, and that was very entertaining. I'm sure the super regionals are going to be just the same with all these underdogs.
Have you met Jensen Lewis, the former Vandy and Indians pitcher, who's now co-hosting with Super Dave in the mornings on VSiN? Have you met him yet, Randy?
I have not met him. I've heard of him and heard some of his analysis as well. And yeah, he's very entertaining and keeps up with a lot of this college baseball. That's for sure.
So they're leaning on Jensen for some of the, because this is just it's all right, or they got this college baseball now. Who can talk about it? Like, I mean, they're trying to find it. So he's been making his rounds, doing a lot of them. And he talked about, they talked about the atmosphere of Baton Rouge and this and that. And, he talked about Baum Stadium too. And he's talking about, of course, when Tennessee goes in there, expect some shenanigans, expect for Baum. It's going to be a sideshow, okay, in Fayetteville. But what he said about Baton Rouge, and he says, man, a bitch down there, and the fans are so hospitable. I mean, you kind of got to fight through being a little bloated from all the food and the tailgating that they'll feed you. But once you get inside that stadium, they want to rip your throat out. And so, and that's it. I can't ask for anything more. They're fan. You have enough of them. You got good ones and bad ones, okay? But that's kind of important, to have that reputation. I mean, and listen, there have been some fans that have come through on a Saturday in the fall, from tailgate at Tiger Stadium and had the time of their lives, and others had a nightmare experience, So, but that to me, that's as strong of a man. They're going to be as hospitable as it can, but once we play you, bro, gloves are off at that point.
And Chris Curry, the Little Rock coach, had nothing but great things to say about how they ran the regional and how well they were treated and all that. And we consider what happened, with Florida, Coastal Carolina, with Tennessee and Wake Forest. It ain't a given that it happens that way.
Yeah. Hey, Randy, I did want to get your 2 cents. And Randy, do we feed you when you come down there? Huh? Do you get fed?
Oh, yeah. Definitely got fed real well. Mike Anderson didn't disappoint at all.
Hey, so, man, I got to talk a little NFL because this Ragnow thing is, okay, it's starting to pile up a little bit. Or is it? With the Detroit Lions. Did they not have the best regular season last year? I think so. 15-2. And, they earned a number 1 seed. They had the best season, and that was with a pretty damn impactful loss with Hutchinson, with an injury. I know injury is a part of it, but that's a big one. And so they have it, but you lose both coordinators. All right, but Campbell's still there. You still got a lot of the pieces. But the strength of that team, and I told Charlie this about 10th, 11th games of Lubro. The MVP, if you can give it to a unit, and I know this doesn't happen, okay? That's an offensive line for Detroit. Everything they do is based on that offensive line. But not only Ragnow, you lost another one before that. So that's multiple offensive linemen. You also throw in this schedule is ramped up. Now, we don't know how a schedule is going to play out completely because it's a year-to-year league, but it sure looks like it's going to be much tougher than it's been the last couple of years when they've made this run. Things piling up where you're like, man, the Lions kind of pump the brakes if you're thinking a win total over or just winning it all?
Yeah, win total over might be a tough thing here with these offensive line, like you mentioned. They said they can put this Glasgow in for Ragnow. That's going to be a tough replacement there. And, it's too bad NFL, guy's got to retire at 29. Unfortunately, he got too banged up. I guess he didn't feel like he could continue and, playing in the trenches, that can happen. But, a lot of things as far as the schedule goes here for Detroit. It's a little bit misleading. They get their tougher games on the road, but they get the rest advantage in a lot of these. So,
okay,
it's kind of a mix and match here as far as that goes. With their schedule does look hard, but if you look at the teams they're playing on the road, they have tough games in the week before, and they get the advantage going into those games where, sometimes even last year they didn't. We saw where they played, and they end up beating the Vikings there in that crucial game, but they didn't have the advantage in that game. And unfortunately, it led to a bad bet by me, but as far as that goes, but they didn't have a lot of the rest advantage that they're going to have this year going into some of them tougher games, even though they're on the road.
Did you guys think that Detroit got blindsided by this? I mean, we're talking about a June retirement from a 29-year-old Pro Bowl player. they don't have time to address this in the draft. Free agency is basically done. I mean, do you think this caught them off
Randy,
guard?
did you see any signs of this?
Yeah, I didn't see any signs. You would think, being a loyal guy, maybe he would, maybe he was telling Campbell and crew that he was maybe leaning that way. So, hopefully, as far as their draft goes, I'm not sure they addressed it in any way. Maybe offensive linemen, there is some ways you can pick up some of these, older players that maybe you can put in there and help out. So, then they got to get used to the line coach and used to, what Campbell likes to do. So, that can always be an issue, but there is some replacements out there on the offensive line as far as, it's not like putting in a new quarterback or something like that.
They did take Tate Ratledge from Georgia is the one offensive lineman they took in the draft, but he was a guard mostly there.
They, we were sitting at Beau Rivage one Sunday, and they got a lot of junkets that come through to Detroit. So I guess there's a big MGM property in the Detroit area, but there are all these Lions fans, and I was kind of sometimes, man, like the Cleveland fans were they were a little much. This particular group, but I'm listening to the Detroit, and they can be a little kind of rambunctious as well. But I'm hearing them say, "Man, I'm surprised. I'm just happy we got him one more year. I was surprised we were able to keep him one more year." Talking about Johnson, the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So there was no surprise that he got a job. He was hot. So we will love to see. One thing about it, I still think they'll run those trick plays. I think that the head man will still be running the gadget plays.
And not to just soak up the whole thing on the Lions, but I did see one interesting trade proposal today that if Cincinnati cannot come to a deal with Trey Hendrickson, and that's a pretty big impasse.
Yeah.
A second and a third round pick from Cincinnati to Detroit to put Hendrickson on the other side of Hutchinson. If I'm Detroit, I do that trade in half a heartbeat. Now they would have to extend him. That's the other part of the deal. Why would you get him for less than a first round pick? Well, he's 31 years old, and he's going to require a $90 million contract, almost all of it guaranteed. But that guy can play, and you put him on the other side of Hutchinson. Who you gonna double? I'd make that trade if I'm Detroit.
I thought some of his success was due to the really good players like Cam Jordan that were next to him with the Saints. I was wrong. Cincinnati needs any defensive players that they can get. There's no doubt about that. So Devil's Lake, is that right, Randy? Is that where you are?
Yeah, Devil's Lake. Of course, the Native Americans call it Spirit Lake, so that's the name of the casino here. So yeah, Devil's Lake, North Dakota. It's a kind of a sleeper place in the upper Midwest here that you can get some really good walleye fishing.
Abundant fishing, especially for perch, the largest natural body of water in North Dakota. Okay, from the Devil's Lake Tourism Department.
I didn't think you had that on the top of your
head.
Perch you catch in the winter.
Only in the winter? Well,
you can catch them in the summer, but most people, catch them in the winter. That's a big ice fishing fish to go for.
Maybe we can go hiking or the casino in the summer of winter fishing in North Dakota. Big dog, I'm out. I'm sorry. I'm out.
No ice fishing for Jimmy.
No, bro. Not even close. We appreciate it, my man. You enjoy your time up there. Always a pleasure.
All right. Thanks, guys, and good luck, everybody out there.
Yes, indeed. Randy's a great one, man. People love. They got a lot of feedback on just his sort of his talking about, the different sports handicappers and when he's, the kind of the egos and the testosterone. It got really. I thought it was interesting. We take that for granted some of the times with Randy. Don't forget our friends over at Workbox Services, my buddy Martin Patial and the great staff at Workbox. They've been doing it for quite some time. With movable storage needs, commercial or residential, man, our home boxes are ideal for the to do it at your own pace. To not be rushed when you say rent a moving truck or things like that. So you put it, you store it at your own pace, and then when you move it to your new location, you unload it at your own pace. Our shipping containers come in all sizes, anywhere from 8 by 8 feet to 8 by 40 feet for the smallest jobs to the really big ones. And we can customize those for any type of use or desire. So check out our stuff at workboxllc.com. 343-4886 Workbox.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
This is Charles Haniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars. Jeep, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in La Place and Plaquemine.
We're here to examine things that get better with age, like this bottle of Chateau Lafite Rothschild, vintage 1877. Age can make things more valuable, like this Picasso from his Blue Period, 1904. And treasured, like this Roto-Rooter jingle, 1954.
Roto-Rooter jingle?
Just listen to it.
Oh, Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
A timeless melody.
Roto-Rooter?
The lithe arrangement.
But it's a clog-busting company.
Wrong there. Roto-Rooter has grown into more than a clog-busting company. They're North America's largest full-service plumber and drain cleaner. And when you need Roto-Rooter, remembering this jingle can be priceless.
Roto-Rooter.
For all of your plumbing and drainage solutions, call Roto-Rooter in Baton Rouge at 925-8710. That's 925-8710. If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee's the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. A personal favorite. Love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell Omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots. Highland Coffee's and Louis Cafe just outside the north gates of LSU.
ALS is a progressive and neurodegenerative disease, and we need your help to find a cure. The mission of the ALS Association, Louisiana, Mississippi chapter, is to discover treatments and a cure for ALS, and to serve, advocate for, and empower people affected by ALS to live their lives to the fullest. Whether you are newly diagnosed, a military veteran, a caregiver, or someone looking to learn more about how to navigate living with ALS, they can help. Visit ALS.org to learn more. That's ALS.org.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Forgive me for being redundant because I think we've done this story before, but maybe it bears repeating. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Paul Skeens throws 8 innings. He gives up 3 hits. He gives up 1 walk. That's a base runner every other inning. 1 run, 8 strikeouts, and took the loss. Again, 4-6 now with an ERA of an eyelash over 2.
How many strikeouts last night?
8.
Yeah, his strikeouts have gotten back close to normal, although he was much higher than
30.
A strikeout per inning pitched last year. But he's still the favorite to win the NL Cy Young. And but this is, Charlie, how long have we been talking about this? This is
that's why I said forgive me for being redundant.
Old, real quick.
2.05, and he's 4-6.
10.
4-6.
Give the baseball voters at least that much credit. They did not go by that. The win-loss record does not mean anything when the Cy Young voting.
Hour number 2 at Modesto, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
This is Charles Henniger for Total Maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Get Moss Max and less text during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and Dip Trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, or cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Congratulations are in order for one of my favorite places to eat, Snow Seafood and Steaks, celebrating its 50th anniversary. That's right, since 1971, Snow's has been serving a wide assortment of menu items to please everyone. Steaks, seafood, gumbo, homemade soup, salads, specialty cocktails, great wine selection, and oh yes, the best white chocolate bread pudding that you'll find anywhere. It's the total dining experience. Happy 50th anniversary to my friends at Snow's Seafood and Steak, Airline Highway at Highway 74 in Gonzales. By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown
What's up? Jordan?
My bad. He called me.
Okay.
Scott called me.
Okay, good.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Wesley Construction is second generation, family owned and hands-on. We stay involved because our name is on every project. We build with pride, with people we trust, and for clients who value results and relationships. Visit wesleyyusa.com or follow us on LinkedIn.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Enjoying the finer things in life is his forte. Let's bring in Scott Rabelais from The Advocate.
And a return here at Modesto, tacos, tequila, and whiskey. Great place to come before or after or during the LSU game, Super Regional this weekend, game day specials, no matter whether it's baseball or football game day specials or basketball game day specials. $3 fireball shots, $3 tequila shots, $3 domestic bottles, $4 imports, 32-ounce margaritas. They're also their Frozen Tiger, one of their specialty cocktails on special all days that LSU plays. Game day nachos, the Mexican popcorn, Berea fries, also available here. All your game day specials here at Modesto. A nice, easy little walk across the street to Alec Box Stadium, where Scott Rabelais was this past weekend. Rab, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm still a little sleep deprived, but otherwise okay.
I wasn't hating getting to bed a little bit earlier last night than some of the other days. Scott, it was a tense, 24-hour period from the time LSU lost to the time that they played the next game. What was the atmosphere like? You were in the post-game press conference. I know you talked to players and to Jay Johnson, and then in the lead up to the game on Monday, I got a lot of, this is the most important game, and they'll never recover from that. I was like, look, it's still a baseball game. Yeah, it would be a monster upset. But what did you feel around the park when you were there?
Well, certainly was tension in the stands and just being there. I mean, everyone was on pins and needles, especially even when LSU took the lead on Fry's home run in the first inning. It was still kind of sad. Well, they took the lead last night. On Saturday night, they'd done the same. Sunday night rather, they'd done the same thing, and then fell way behind. So it was kind of an attitude: no lead is safe. And then Little Rock, as I've heard, I'm sure y'all say on your show, they're making amazing plays. The guys hitting the off-field wall, making catches, the turning plays in the middle infield. It just looked like major league plays, and it just looked like things were kind of conspiring against LSU, who could seem like loading the bases was kryptonite. But after the game, they seemed like still a confident bunch, and Jay Johnson, full of a lot of hyperbole these days. This guy's the best pitcher on the planet tonight, and this guy, I've never had a better this, and this was the best atmosphere. You can tell with Jay, maybe it was a lot of relief talking, but he is just really animated by this time of year. And as he has said earlier, his whole life is oriented around going to Omaha. And that's no hyperbole. That's really true. So you could tell he was in his element, and I think maybe for him, that the win was sweeter for the struggle, which is sometimes the case in the hood.
I think all of that is true, and I'll add that he got, be it the situation of moving the lineup around or however it fell, he got some big time performances. Ethan Fry had a monster performance. They put him up in the 2-hole. Look, he went 4 for 4. That's a monster ask. You move him up in the 2-hole for the first time. I think he had hit that spot all year, and then he comes up with the bases loaded. The last 3 times they had not scored with the bases loaded, and he rips a double. Stephen Milam, who has struggled offensively in the second half of the season, hits .417 in the regional. Kason Evans, who hadn't pitched in 2 weeks, comes out there and gives you the performance of a lifetime. I mean, he had some guys step up with some tremendous performances, which is what you got to have to win one of these things.
Yeah, everyone in the lineup changed order at least one spot, except for Derek Curiel, who stayed in the on deck in the leadoff spot. So, yeah, it was as he said after the game. It was my favorite quote that he had after the game. He said, you have to risk sometimes to do these things. In these big situations. When do you take a risk? You take a risk when you have a lot to gain. We had a chance to play a super regional at home 2 months ago at the College World Series. It's time to take a risk, and then you don't just do it. He said, I don't do anything just to do it. It was with a lot of reason behind it. And took a little pressure off Jared Jones to bat later in the lineup, and he had some good swings. He still made had a couple of strikeouts, but he had some good swings, and of course hit the late home run. And Hernandez moving up. I thought moving Braswell, I'm sorry, he's just struggling mightily at the plate. Moving him down to the 9-hole and taking Stanfield out of that second. I know you're sacrificing that second leadoff hitter, theoretically in your lineup, but I thought overall those were good moves. And as you said, they paid off handsomely. They might not have. I mean, just as easily might not have, but they paid off very handsomely. And I love Hernandez. That is one hack-in looking swing, right? He does not look like one of the great LSU power hitters. I'm not reminded of Zeph Zinsman or Tommy Tank when he goes up there to swing, but or Brandon Larson. But he's kind of got that little choppy swing, but it sure was effective. And what a find for LSU in the bottom third of that lineup to have him down there.
The offense for him, obviously, with the 2 home runs, and he was a good power hitter for Indiana State last year. What has impressed me more about him is how much his defense has improved, because he did not catch very many games last year. In fact, I don't know if he caught any, and he was primarily a DH, and he played some first base, but he's listed as a catcher because he caught 2 years ago, and he had to acclimate himself. I think the defense has come a long way for him. I think that, him telling Case and Evans, go ahead and throw that splitter, go ahead and throw that breaking ball, and I'll get it. And they weren't getting by him. And my goodness, I thought Chris Curry had a good quote, the Little Rock coach after the game. He said, look, it looks like a fastball coming out of Evans's hand, but it breaks so dramatically that, you're kind of forced to make up your mind. And when you can have that ball break so dramatically and know that your catcher is going to be back there and is going to handle everything. And so, look, I love the homers. They needed them. But that defense should not be forgotten where it comes to Luis Hernandez.
No, he said, I got you. He said to Evans, I got you. Throw what you want. I'll stop it. And he was terrific because you're trying to get them to chase some pitches. And wow, remember about Case and Evans. There's no record line in the LSU record book for most consecutive strikeouts in a game, but I don't recall ever. I'm sure Charlie, you with your encyclopedic knowledge of LSU baseball, if you can recall seeing 9 straight strikeouts. They said Anthony Renato, Todd Foley, who does a great job with LSU stats and the website and everything, said Anthony Renato once struck out 10 out of 11. But I don't remember seeing anyone that I've ever seen anywhere, any kind of level of baseball, strike out 9 in a row. And I know, it's a little rock. You strike out 9 straight batters. You strike out the order.
Yeah.
On any level of baseball, it's pretty impressive, especially with a game like this on the line. But wasn't this just another? LSU just seems to, when they need, and it doesn't happen every single time. Obviously, there's the Stony Brooks and the Coastal Carolinas and the Houstons in the regional final. It seems like so many times LSU needs the clutch, backs to the wall pitching thing. I mean, he's got to keep them in the game, and he did. And as a freshman too, what a tremendous, amazing performance.
So my encyclopedia brain, along with Todd Politz's research, gives me the answer to this. More Politz's research than my.
Ben had 7 and 8 at his career.
Ben had 8 against Stephen F. Austin in 1989. Here's what I found interesting about the list. The next guys all did 7 in a row. Ianson and Anderson have both done this. Ianson this year against North Alabama. Anderson last year against Southeastern. Both struck out 7. I was there the night Renato did what you're talking about. He was chasing the strikeouts in a game record that night. He came up just short. And Scotty Schultz had 7 in a row against Mississippi State back in '94. And for a long time, Schultz was the all-time strikeouts leader and wins leader at LSU. Until Poche broke his wins mark. Schultz was fantastic back in the early 90s. So, it's a pretty significant record.
Hagen Smith, though, owns the record.
Hagen Smith in college baseball, 15 up, 15 down.
15 in a row.
Yeah, it's some kind of a ridiculous ridiculous stuff.
9 was damn good, man. 15 is just that's. And it was it SEC?
No, it was a non-conference game.
Oh, it's non-conference.
Okay. Scott, how do you feel about the matchup with West Virginia and where LSU is sitting right now?
They come in with a good record, 44-14. They were a team, right? People talked about a lot during the season as being a regional host. Obviously, they wound up with the 2 seed in the Clemson regional. It's it's going to be a test. What do you expect at this time? Not LSU still, despite the struggles with Little Rock, but getting the number 2 seed from the Clemson regional, got about as good a path to Omaha as you could hope for. Obviously, they're not dealing with the Murray State, who can really hit, but obviously they're a lower level team. But it's not Tennessee. It's not quite Tennessee coming in here either, or Coastal Carolina going to Auburn or something like that. It's certainly not UTSA going to UCLA. But I just go back to the fact that you got those 2 set hammer pitchers. Things get a lot more dicey if you got to go to Monday and play game 3. But the fact that you have Anderson and Ianson in whatever order, and as you guys said, they haven't lost at home this season. LSU hasn't been beaten in a series at home this season. I just have to think that this is time for LSU. I still think it's a team with some holes. The offense can go in the deep freeze at times, and the defense has been really good. I know they had an egregious error during that 5-run inning for Little Rock the other night. That was the only error of the entire 4 games in the regional for LSU, which is really good. It's their first infield error, I think, in a month, Charlie, wasn't it? Something like that. I mean, it's like Texas A&M or something like that. Since that was first infield error, so that's really good.
The defense has been off the charts. I would say.
I like their chances. I think they'll win in 2, but if they got to go to 3, it makes it a lot more nervous.
Any other thoughts about how the weekend played out? Only 4 SEC teams made it. That's been kind of a headline. You got some non-traditional names in these super regionals like Murray State and Texas San Antonio. So, but any other thoughts about the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, I would say I'm glad you brought that up, because I would say it's a good point to make. Only 9 of the 16 national seeds advance. For the top 8 seeds: Arkansas, Auburn, North Carolina, LSU, Oregon State, and then UCLA, Texas, Coastal, and Florida State. But LSU was not the only team that struggled. And obviously we talked about, and I've talked about it on our podcast, and you guys have talked about it. I've written about it. It would have been a huge blot on the program if they lost on Monday to Little Rock. But they weren't, like I said, they were far from the only team that struggled. It is tougher. I think we still kind of, and I think a lot of longtime LSU baseball fans still view things through the lens of the 1990s, and it's so much tougher now. There's so many more programs that are taking college baseball more seriously and putting more resources into it. And of course, the NIL and the transfer portal has evened out the playing field even more. So, yeah, I think that. But yeah, the SEC. I am surprised only 4 SEC teams made it through. Now, you're guaranteed to get at least one in Omaha, obviously, because it's Arkansas, Tennessee, are going to play each other, and then they could probably LSU could be the team that they play. But I think it's that's a little surprising. I think we all expected 6 or so SEC teams, maybe not a majority, but at least 6 of them to make it through. And Florida kind of flamed out. Alabama flamed out. Georgia did Georgia things, didn't they?
Well, Vandy and Texas were the top 2 seeds. They're supposed to be around this weekend, and they're not. So 6
of the top 12 are gone.
Yeah.
Koki Riley told me, a scout during the season told him Texas would not win the national championship. They after the injuries they had, and they said they and obviously they didn't make it to the super regional. So they were kind of maybe living on borrowed time. Vanderbilt, I thought was, you guys may disagree. I thought they were a weak overall number 1 seed.
I thought there were a lot of teams that
I don't know who else would have made it, but
I thought there were a lot of teams that could have been there. The top 8 or so.
Arkansas or North Carolina could have been.
Yeah, I think Vandy got winning that series against Tennessee late, and then the wins in the SEC tournament, I think, put them over the top. But were they overwhelmingly better than some of the other top 8 national seeds? No, I didn't.
Charlie and I, we've been talking about this for about a month, that this is, LSU is they're not quite maybe as dominant. Man, nobody is. There's no elite, there's no cut above everybody, and I think it showed. I mean, Vandy also with those wins got the number 1 RPI, and Skip has told us over and over that Kuminga loves that RPI. So, I mean, that helped as well because their RPI, they avoided South Carolina and Missouri, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
They did.
So, I mean, that
And
helped their
LSU
RPI.
played them. LSU played them. That did not help LSU's RPI.
Right, right. It's but this was just, and they have been doing odds on these games for a long time. But from an odds perspective, LSU's never been battled by a team. They've played teams where it would have been like a 7.5 point favorite, those 1-6 matchups and some of the 1-4s. Okay. But nope, they've never lost to a team with a 250 plus RPI in a Baton Rouge regional. And then, brought to, I mean, where the tying runs are on, tying and go ahead runs are on in the 8th inning, so no, it was. And then when you're talking about Johnson, Scott, this is his first taste of sort of the Alec Box regional drama. I mean, Alec Box is a great atmosphere, but it's a whole different level when we come to the regionals. And when we talk about all of our Alec Box memories, man, we talk about regionals.
He said he thought this was the best that he had seen since he's been here.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't doubt it. Yeah, it was electric, and even a lot of people showed up Monday night when obviously people are going back to work. It's another late night game. I imagine it's going to be tremendous Saturday and especially Sunday afternoon. It should be because it should be a little later, but it should be really great. I'm sure West Virginia will find it quite interesting. But yeah, to your point, Jimmy, there's not a great dominant team out there this year. That's why LSU is still right with the favorite or co-favorite or one of the top 2 favorites to win the national championship, despite struggling with Little Rock, is because there's just no one else out there that you go, that's the team. I know Koki, just talking to him, how he's followed basketball all year. He's kind of enamored with North Carolina, how good they are, and they are really good. And the fact that the ACC got more teams through to the Sweet 16 than the SEC did is kind of surprising, but. We'll see what happens. I think there's a lot of these teams on this list that are still alive that could win it.
I think the odds
they have a better draw.
That's what I was getting to. Yeah. The top 3 choices to win it all. I think the odds are based on public support. The Arkansas, LSU, and Tennessee. Only one of them can get to the championship series. They all had to battle it just to get there. That's why North Carolina has an easy path, the easiest path of them all. And then the Oregon State, Florida State winner would miss Nap in the second game of they don't have to deal with the Vanderbilt, so they're going to play the Louisville Miami winner if they get to Omaha, and then they'll have play North Carolina if Nap wins his first game and miss him. So there's multiple easier paths than what LSU, Arkansas, and Tennessee have to face.
Rab, we appreciate it, man. Enjoy the games this weekend. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Look, I'm on a plane, Charlie, but I'll let you know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we'll check your check your travel schedule. Thanks a lot, Scott. Hagen Smith's game with the 15 strikeouts to open up a non-conference game against Oregon State.
Oh, so it's not like a runaway.
It was a February game, but it was against Oregon State. They played that at Globe Life. It was that tournament at Globe Life last year. I had to look up.
It was last year.
It was last year. I'd forgotten.
Wow.
I'd forgotten who.
I love that team, man. I can't believe that team didn't get out of Fayetteville.
Neither can they. neither can they.
Oh, our friends over at Go Chevrolet and also Go Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Blackman. Go Chevrolet in LaPlace. My buddy Lee Carney doing a great job over there. When I was in the market for a new vehicle, I contacted him, and man, he set me up, and that's why I drive a Go vehicle. I drive a Tahoe from Go Chevrolet. Our trucks like the Colorado, the Silverado, the crossover and SUVs like the Trax, Equinox, Blazer, Traverse, Trailblazer, Traverse Limited to Tahoe, and the ultra-popular Suburban. So our vehicles like the Malibu, Camaro, Corvette, and we have electric cars as well, the Equinox, Blazer, and Silverado. Take the little short trip over to Go Chevrolet. Our service is unbelievable. VIP pricing. You mentioned my name, Jimmy Ott. My buddy Lee Carney at Go Chevrolet and GoChevrolet.com.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crown Town Room at Dozy Place. The Crown Town Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozy Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt. The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Sammy's Grill on Highland Road. A hometown favorite for tailgating and watching LSU games since 1988. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Fin Bomb, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes, 8x8, 8x10, 8x20, or even 8x40 feet. Not just one size. These units can be customized for any use. Custom lunchrooms, offices, work sites for plumbers or welders, dual purpose, part office, part storage, climate control, shelving, lighting, using different materials, whatever you need. Give my buddy Martin Padiella at Workbox a call at 343-4886, 343-4886, and workboxllc.com.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air. Find our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. For direct links, visit 1045ESPN.com. Tigers, Saints, Southeastern Conference, all in one place. LouisianaSports.net. No paywalls, no article limits. It's just the coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today. LouisianaSports.net.
Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at 1045 ESPN and on Instagram at ESPN 1045. For a look behind the scenes, highlights from our shows, the chance to participate in exclusive contests, and more with 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. From east, north to south, but we're heading west. It's Wes Reynolds from VSiN.
And a pretty happy Wes Reynolds, I would imagine, with the Indiana Pacers in the NBA.
But how
Finals.
unprofessional Reggie Miller to celebrate while he's calling the games. Huh, Wes? I mean, wow.
Look at this Wes.
Wow. Huh? Boy, these Knicks fans, huh? And so what do? At the height of their excitement or the relevance of their organization, their team? They fire the coach. They fire their leader. So, what'd you make of that, Wes?
Yeah, look, the story is all about what the Knicks didn't do, I guess, and what the Pacers did do. But Yeah, I was a little bit mildly surprised I fired Tom Thibodeau. I thought he kind of did the best with what he got lower in the goal or moving the goalpost here. You don't have a bench, and you're a top-heavy team, and your two best players are your two worst defenders, that being Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. So, it's not a shock. I don't think it should be a shock to anybody that the Pacers won this series. They were small underdogs anyway, but they're certainly going to be bigger underdogs starting tomorrow night. But yeah, I thought the Pacers, really have come together as a team, and credit to Rick Carlisle and Kevin Pritchard, Chad Buchanan, the brain trust there in the front office, because they've gotten guys that can contribute. And it's a different guy. Sometimes it's Tyrese, it's Siakam, sometimes it's Matherin, sometimes it's Turner. You were getting big contributions from guys that didn't hardly see the floor, like Tony Bradley and Thomas Bryant. So goes to show you that this team's got something. There's something special about this team in terms of togetherness, but they're certainly going to be big underdogs against the team that won 68 games this year.
You think they can be competitive in the series?
I do. Yeah, I absolutely do, because, it's tough for the Pacers in the fact that they haven't had a team that really defends the team does. But at the same time, the Thunder, this is not an easy offense necessarily to stop with the Pacers and just getting that pace and getting up and down the floor. And the Thunder, by the way, who are rightful, $7 high, this is not a team that's exactly road warriors in the playoffs. This team, got taken 7 by Denver, and have thrown in some clunkers away from Oklahoma City. So I don't think that this is just lock, stock, and barrel Thunder here. If you say who do you pick to win the series, I pick them. But I'm not going to bet that accordingly. I'd be looking series spread for the Pacers. I think that they compete here.
What were the Pacers underdog the odds in the Knicks series?
I think they were about 130 range, maybe plus 130 around there. On 20, they certainly weren't big favorites. Big underdogs.
And what was the Knicks on? What was the Knicks coming back before the Boston series? In that series,
I think starting the series, they were probably around like minus 140, minus 150.
Oh, more than that, Matt. Oh no, they were way bigger underdogs. Max, you can look that up.
Oh, you're talking the Boston series.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
I was talking the start of the Pacers series.
No, the Knicks. My point is, did Tibbs get fired? Does he get fired if they just lose to Boston? Or because
I don't know.
Because they lost the series they were favored in. Well, I mean, they were much bigger underdogs in the series that they won. I mean, and let's face it, the Tatum injury happened pretty deep into they're about to go down 3-1, so and did go down 3-1. So most of the damage was done with a healthy Jason Tatum, is my point. So I just don't know what industry, but hey, is the NBA has fired coaches before. The interesting thing is, it wasn't a player. Jalen Brunson's dad's on the staff, and Jalen Brunson, every time they asked him, he got up and left because he got pissed at one of the questions if Tibbs is the right guy. Was that the after the Pacers series that they asked him that?
I think it was probably both during and after.
Yeah.
But we'll see who's good. We'll see who's going to take over there. You hear different names. You hear Johnny Bryant. You hear Michael Malone, who was recently fired in Denver. Do any of the college coaches that are always rumored have any interest? I don't know, but I think that the expectation for the Knicks because of that market was just a little bit high here, even though you have two star players, but like I said, they're your worst defenders, and that got exposed in the Pacers series.
Well, yes, and the thing is, Wes, we have different sportsbook managers on, regularly as well, and the Knicks became very, very public. I mean, they became very public. So that line, that the odds that you said that they were favored, as mild as it was probably a little inflated to begin with. And I don't know about you, Charlie, but Wes, I think Indiana's a better team. I think the better team won this particular series.
I do too. They have been, I think, throughout these playoffs, the the better team in every series that they have played. I'm still trying to get over the Thibodeau thing, though. You don't go anywhere for 25 years. He gets you there, and then, well, you're not the guy to take us over the finish line. I don't know that that's particularly fair. In fact, I don't think it's fair. It goes back. Look, James Dolan has been pretty quiet by his standards of late, but look, a bad owner will jump in there, Wes, every chance they get to screw things up.
Yeah, no question about it. And that's why the Pacers, I think, are blessed with Herb Simon, because Herb, he's active in that he knows what's going on, but he's always let the Pacers guys, going all the way back to Donnie Wall, who's ever run that front office, let them do what they need to do. And now what they need to do is probably go over that tax, because they've got a chance, regardless of what happens in this series, they've got a couple 3-year window here where they can compete at the top of the Eastern Conference with Tyrese and Pascal, maybe add a piece here. We'll see what Miles Turner's future is going to be. But, yeah, I think the better team actually did win this series, the better organization. And, this is kind of just a general rule, I think, for bettors out there. When in doubt, save the national media, because the national media is often going to get this stuff wrong, and they certainly got it wrong in this Knicks Pacers series.
All right, golf heading to Canada this week, the RBC Canadian Open. Who are we looking at?
Yeah, TPC Toronto, so it is a new course, a little bit more of a wide open course, because usually these Canadian courses are kind of tight at Hamilton and a couple of these other places, Glen Abbey, that they've played. So I'm going to start with a local boy. I'm going to start with Sam Burns, 28-1 to win this thing. He's seeing his mate, Scottie Scheffler, obviously set the world on fire. At least we don't have to lose to him this week if we're betting into this tournament, because he's not in the field, but Rory McIlroy certainly is, and this course is tailor-made for him. Big course, we can hit it off the tee, and that's where he gains the most. But I went with Sam Burns, who's also pretty solid off the tee. Maybe not as accurate, but a really good putter, a wide-open course. I think that he could fare well here. So Sam Burns, 28-1, 4 top 20s, by the way, in his last 5 starts. Going with one local guy, and locals don't usually win. We've had, I think, one Canadian player win the Canadian Open since 1954, and that was Nick Taylor 2 years ago. But I kind of like how Taylor Pendrith is playing, and he's around 28-1, was runner-up on this course for a PGA Tour Canada event back in 2019, 5th at the PGA, 12th at the Memorial. He was second in stroke gain ball striking by you-know-who, Scottie Scheffler. So he was very good hitting, just how he hit it last week at the Memorial. I think that can carry over. Jordan Olsen, 50-1, 2 top 7s in his last 6 overall starts. He did get a U.S. Open qualifying spot up there in Ontario on Monday. So I think some of those guys that got into the U.S. Open that had to go through that longest day in golf and play 36 on Monday, I think they carry a little bit of momentum here. And Jordan Olsen has played some pretty solid golf, 11th tee to green overall on the PGA Tour this year. And then another guy who can kind of hit it big off the tee, Kurt Kitayama, 60-1. He's also really good on approaches from over 200 yards. And you're going to have that, I think, on this course. He's got a lot of long par 4s. I think 4 of them are 500 yards or more. Got a really good record on TPC courses, including a 5th this year at the PGA Cup down at TPC Craig Ranch. So guys that I think played in that event and played very well are going to play well here. Matty Schmid, 80-1, who was the runner-up a couple weeks ago at Colonial, which is kind of a tighter course with such a big hitter that kind of hits it all over the place. But he's got 4 top 10s on the PGA Tour this year, including that runner-up at Colonial. Think he can go well. And then speaking of momentum in terms of guys that played well in the qualifying, how about the guy that was the medalist there in Columbus who beat everybody by 6 shots, and that's Eric Von Royen at 100-1, who was second to Scottie Scheffler, by the way, at TPC Craig Ranch. But I think that's going to have some correlation. So I think that he carries that over. A couple guys that just missed the card, Nicholas Norgard, who's another really big hitter, and Rio Hisatsune has been playing pretty good golf over the spring. I played them on placement markets, though, not on outright.
All right, Wes, we appreciate it as always. Good luck to you Pacers, man. That'd be
you bet,
looking forward to some good basketball. It doesn't have to be in a big market, man. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you next week.
going back next week, so I'm looking forward to that. Thank you very much, guys.
Very good. We're brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are exactly alike. Let Coastal Capital Advisors tailor-make a plan for you and your family. They work with your business partners and tax professionals, your legal team, to make sure that all of your retirement goals are in place. They'll work for you. They've done a fantastic job for me. Highly recommend them. Phil Fontenot and his staff, 337-981-1376. Online, it's coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, member FINRA SIPC. We'll give you our consensus picks when we come back here, live at Modesto, live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch. Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
Attention vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Siegen near Perkins.
Get Moss Max and less tax during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and dip trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, 4 cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on. Whether you're a homeowner, commercial contractor, or industrial business, we have the space for you. Our secure, versatile storage units are ready to meet your needs. Contractors, keep your site organized and efficient. Store your materials with us and access them anytime you need. Businesses, industries of any size, Workbox LLC is your trusted partner for flexible, safe storage. Workbox 343-4886 and workboxllc.com. The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill. Wesley, across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus, $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. If you're tired of the impersonal, one-size-fits-all style of banking, you deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for your businesses and families because they go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business and good for life. Stop by any South Louisiana, Houston, or Natchez area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Ruffino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Ruffino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit ruffinosrestaurant.com. Ruffino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
The Wednesday Consensus Golf Picks are brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown.
Our turn here at Modesto. Consensus Golf Picks. Max?
We do have one this week.
Okay.
And I'm going to start off with a guy you just heard Wes Reynolds mention, the LSU alum, Sam Burns, 28-1 this week. Look, Wes gave you a bit of a breakdown, but I do think it's a long golf course, but driving distance is not paramount to me exclusively. I've heard some people just saying it's just going to be a bomber's course, bomber friendly, but the rough is up a little bit and the fairways are wide enough to reward driving accuracy as well. I think Burns does enough though here. The one concern with him is he's an RBC spokesman. He's one of their ambassadors, so he has to be here. That's always a bit of a concern with someone like, say, Colin Morikawa at the Zurich every year. He's going to be there regardless, whether he wants to be there or
He's
not.
obligated to.
He has to be there. But Burns has a great track record here at the RBC Canadian Open. 3 tournaments he's played. He's finished in the top 10 twice. He's coming in great form as well. His approach play is finally starting to come around. We know he's a great putter. He's always a great putter, even on non-Bermuda greens. He's got top 30 finishes in his last 5 starts since the Masters. So he's coming in. He's trending in the right direction. And to me, at 30-1 with his pedigree in this type of field, I think that's a good value play. So,
did he ever say why he didn't play in Dallas? Did he ever give a reason why he didn't play in
In
Dallas?
Zurich?
No, in Dallas.
I don't remember. The tournament he won there before Colonial.
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard
He
why.
never said why.
That was
Okay.
a little puzzling, but this course could absolutely work for him as well. Keith Mitchell, 50-1 is another one of my plays this week. Someone who struggles very much to close, but I'll certainly have him first round leader if I'm going to have him for the tournament because he loves to get out to great starts. But he has a decent track record here at the Canadian Open as well. Granted, it's a different course than they play basically every year. This is the first time it's been here at TPC Toronto, but he's got top 10 finishes in this event in the last 3 starts. And a lot of the courses tend to play a little familiar in terms of at least the grass types. Bluegrass, rough, bent grass with a mixture of Poana on the fairways and greens. So that similarity, I guess, in the other golf courses has me thinking, well, and going north of the border, it doesn't really seem like it would fit a Georgia guy like Kashmir Keith, but it has worked for him, and he's in pretty good form. Really good ball striker, good on the par 4s, which is a par 70, so there are plenty of par 4s this week. Keith Mitchell, 50-1, another one of my plays. Johnny Kiefer, let me introduce you to a guy. Johnny Kiefer, I'm sure you've never heard of him, Charlie, but
correct.
PGA Tour America's player last year. So this is not even the Korn Ferry Tour. This is a lower level field. He played in the event that was here and finished 3rd. He dominated that tour last year. Got promoted up to the Korn Ferry Tour this year, where he's also had a very good, successful season. He's leading the Korn Ferry Tour in standings. Tremendous ball striker, makes a ton of birdies, longer hitter, young player. Johnny Kiefer, watch out for him. I played him in some placement markets at the PGA. Unfortunately, he missed the cut. But he's also qualified for the U.S. Open, so he's playing in bigger fields. And Data Golf, which ranks golfers throughout all the different tours, has him as the 74th best golfer in the world right now. 24-year-old. I just like where he is, and he's played at this golf course before, so at least look familiar for him. Johnny Kiefer, it'll be listed as John Kiefer, 66-1 this week at the Canadian Open. And then with the field being just kind of Rory and everybody else, I'm going to go with some longer shots this week. Keep the card a little bit smaller in terms of risk this week. Chris Goddard, 80-1. Longer hitter if it rewards long play, being able to hit the ball long, driving distance, that will certainly reward him. And Wes mentioned golf's longest day earlier this week, which is qualifying for the U.S. Open next week. He was one of the players who made it out of U.S. Open qualifying. He qualified his way into the field. And so that just gives you a good idea of where his game is. 2 rounds where he was under pressure to make the U.S. Open. He got through. 80-1 Chris Goddard, a former PGA Tour winner last year at 80-1, I think fits this golf course. Gary Woodland, 80-1, another player, longer hitter, good on par 70 golf courses. Hasn't won in a long time. Certainly had the health scare with a brain tumor that he had to have removed. But he's come back and he's had some admirable finishes. He also finished runner-up at the Houston Open, where driving distance was paramount. There were also a lot of birdies, so 19 under. I'd certainly expect a winning score like that this week. So Gary Woodland at 80-1. And Jimmy, we're here at Modesto. You're pretty good at rolling your L's, double L's, right? So let's get to it. Your favorite.
You don't roll double L's. It's just a Y.
Okay. Well,
you roll R's.
It's not always the case. I'll get to that in a second. But your favorite Argentinian, right? Emiliano Grillo.
Emiliano Grillo.
There you go. So
Yeah,
110 to 1. I played him last week. He's just trending. He's trending in the right way. Or it was a couple of weeks ago, I guess. It was actually at the Charles Schwab at Colonial. But finished tied for 16th. His iron play is coming around. He hits a lot of fairways, so that should certainly suit him. And he's also played pretty well in the Canadian Open. Made 3 cuts in his 3 appearances. So Emiliano Grillo, just someone who's rounding into form. I always want to be early on him because he's a great ball striker. Could absolutely play well. So Emiliano Grillo. But how about this? Another double L that's pronounced differently, according to the PGA Tour pronunciation guide.
Emiliano is 2 L's?
That's 1.
Right,
but
okay.
Grillo is 2. Back to back.
Yeah, Grillo, right.
Yes.
The double L's are a Y, yes.
Ricky Castillo is how this is apparently announced. Castillo with 2 L's, but
I'm glad you're keeping it short.
Yeah, PGA Tour. Castillo. Ricky Castillo, 125 to 1. He's got the eggshell necklace or the seashell.
Pukas, the puka shells.
He wears those, but he's a great iron player.
Is he 16?
No, he's younger. He's 24, so maybe outdated this style of
He's
fashion.
outgrown his puka shells,
but
yeah.
still wearing them. And he's a great player, really good iron player. When you look at him, he's a tremendous birdie guy. He makes a ton of birdies as well. Just hits it close, and that could be important with a birdie-like golf course where I think they're going to tear this place up. So Ricky Castillo and Emiliano Grillo, my 2 long shots this week at 110 and 125 to 1.
Why stop at like 110 to 1? Give me a Keith Mitchell first round in Grillo parlay, to win the whole thing.
That would
be no Keith Mitchell 45-50 to 1.
I will bet him first round. If I'm betting him for the tournament, I'm absolutely betting him in the first round. So yes, add that to my card. Keith Mitchell, first round leader. He's been dominant in round 1s all year long. So I'll absolutely play that. But by the way, Grillo was another one of the players who made it through U.S. Open qualifying. He'll be playing next week after qualifying on golf's longest day. So that was a whole lot of fun. We got to watch a little bit of that on TV now. Golf Channel does a good job of covering that. So we saw Max Homa, Ricky Fowler trying to grind their way into the U.S. Open field. Max Homa was carrying his own bag for that event. He didn't have a caddy with him. Unfortunately, they both missed it in a playoff at their respective qualifying sites.
Don't forget our friends that bring you the golf consensus picks each and every week. It's Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown. So everything from traffic tickets to DWI to estate planning to, whatever, a massive, your car gets totaled. Like mine did. He's going to so many things you have to go through, and Dana's going to set it all up. They handle everything, communicate with the insurance company the whole time, all the insurance companies, the other attorneys, everything, set you up with appointments for, to go see your doctor and get your therapy and things like that. So he really handles everything because there's a lot of things that you have to go through, and there's a process through this whole thing. And that's where Dana Brown and his attorneys can help you out and show you the way. We don't know exactly what it is, and you're going to be, you have to have some representation because they're not, the other side's not in the business of just handing out money. Dana's going to make sure that you get what's rightfully deserved in this whole process. Dana Brown at the offices of O.C. Brown, your law firm for a lifetime, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Baseball and softball players of all levels get the competitive edge you've been looking for at Total Diamond Performance. Do the same lessons, camps, classes, and clinics used by top college and MLB organizations. Everything from mental performance.
1 second.
Okay.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
Right. It's rolling.
This is Charles Hannegriff. Join us for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from the original Walk-Ons Burbank at Nicholson. We continue the countdown toward the Super Regional right across the street from Alec Box Stadium. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Thursday. Damn it. This is Charles Hannegriff. Join us for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from the original Walk-Ons Burbank at Nicholson. We continue the countdown towards the Super Regional, which is right across the street at the box. Live at Lunch, Thursday from the original Walk-Ons on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Coverage the Louisiana sports fans want. Bookmark it today, louisianasports.net.
This is Charles Henniger for Total Maintenance for AC and heating, generators, electricity, and plumbing. Total Maintenance is your one-stop sales and service shop for all of these needs. Service today, every day. That's their slogan at Total Maintenance, so nobody ever has to go to sleep hot. Over the years, Total Maintenance has expanded into the New Orleans area, as well as their offices in Baton Rouge with full staffs in both markets. Call 480-1000 in Baton Rouge or in New Orleans, 841-3300. Service today, every day at Total Maintenance.
Go Automotive has a great selection of new cars: Chevy, GMC, Hummer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. You rather a pre-owned vehicle? Using our resources will help find you any vehicle that you're looking for. Our service department offers VIP service. You never have to come to the dealership. We'll pick up the vehicle at your home or office, drop off a loaner, service the vehicle, and return it when it's done. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Chevy Tahoe I drive came from Go Automotive. That's Go Automotive in LaPlace and Plaquemine.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net.
If you're near the north side of campus, I need to remind you about a couple of longtime favorites. Highland Coffee is the original specialty coffee shop in Baton Rouge since the 1980s. My personal favorite. Love getting my cappuccino from their friendly, knowledgeable staff, roasted right in the shop. Louis Cafe for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. The Mitchell omelet, Cajun hash browns, Big Cheesy Lou, all served up in that famous open kitchen atmosphere. In Tigertown since 1941. A couple of great spots. Highland Coffees and Louis Cafe just outside the north gates of LSU.
At Town Square Pizza, we take pride in serving Baton Rouge with fresh, delicious, piping hot, personalized pizza with unmatched speed. Whether you're a downtown worker, a family looking for convenience and value, or an out-of-towner staying at one of the nearby hotels, Town Square Pizza is the spot for you. Try a specialty pizza like the Spanish Town Supreme or custom build your own. Family packs, kids' meals, and salads are available as well. It's hip to be square at Town Square Pizza, downtown facing. What else? Town Square.
Louisiana, you've got a new home for coverage of LSU, the New Orleans Saints, and the Southeastern Conference. LouisianaSports.net. LouisianaSports.net. Feature stories, opinion columns, recruiting updates, in-game reports. And it's all free. No paywalls, no annoying pop-up ads, no recurring subscriptions. Just the content you crave. From the folks that bring you 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, it's LouisianaSports.net. The Chuck Oliver Show, weeknights at 6 on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Michael Silver's pretty observant.
He's listening, baby.
Adam Silver, what's it?
Michael Silver he's listening.
Adam Silver.
You know, Silver came on, said the All-Star game will change format to incorporate Team USA versus Team World concept. It says, and he referenced the NHL All-Star game.
Yeah, the world's going to be.
Or it was not the I mean the four nations.
Yeah,
okay.
The world will be favored if they put SGA, Luka, Giannis, Joker, and Victor. They're going to be favored.
How many years has it been since an American player's won the league MVP?
5, I think.
10.
Is it been 10? It's been that long. Yeah. Think about that lineup.
That's why I brought it up.
That lineup I just gave you. SGA was Canadian.
Luke, you got some good American players too. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's
gonna be a lot of fun. But
I think
let's not forget that 4 nations. I mean, I was at Madison Square Garden at that time. U.S. Canada, and we went out of our way to go watch that game out of Madison Square Garden. I mean, that was a huge event.
I don't think you will certainly move toward. I don't think you will reach that level of intensity on the basketball court. Okay, it's a little different.
A lot of political stuff going on too.
Well, it is going to raise the intensity of me up. He also said it's going to be in the afternoon, so it won't be in the evening. Kind of get lost to me on that Sunday night. That Sunday night was kind of Sunday night can be a good, football. It's a standalone game. It's a highly viewed, but it's for years it was on an afternoon, and so he's going to move it back to an afternoon as well. So I applaud it. It's going to be. I think there will be some pride on the lines. We're not going to have cocky intensity, but I think it's a great move. It's a common sense move.
I agree. Rod Walker of NOLA.com sat down with Joe Dumars this morning. Dumars says, I've had really good conversations with Zion. We've spent a lot of time together, had some honest conversations. We're going to go forward with Zion. He's going to continue to be the focal point here as we go forward. Declined to comment on the lawsuit that has been filed against Williamson in California for sexual assault. But which is different from being charged with sexual assault. I think they made that distinction as well. So if you're looking for a trade with Zion Williamson, drafts in a couple of weeks, not coming, says Joe Dumars. They will stick with him with Zion Williamson. So.
Any of this is a reaction to the lawsuit, though?
30?
I don't think so.
I think this is just.
He said I sent him to the draft for a reason, which was, correct me if I'm wrong, before the lawsuit was filed.
Yes.
And she's having a hard time finding a lawyer. So there's some questions about the validity of the case. Again, it's different than him being charged by the officials. Modesto here. Game day specials for the regional this weekend. Great little easy walk across towards Alex Box. Thanks to everybody for participating. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice